Hi, my name is Pablo Zabaleta and I welcome you to this video where we will be covering Chapter 16, Just-in-Time Systems from the Heizer and Render book. As always, let's start with our outline. We will define what is JIT, we will see how it affects the manufacturing cycle, we will talk about suppliers, quantities, quality, planning objectives, suppliers' concerns, plant distribution, flexibility, and the consequences for employees of the JIT. So let's start first with what is JIT. It is a philosophy of continuous and forced problem solving. Continuous and forced problem solving. It's not, as people usually think, that just as the name implies, JIT, just in time, things arrive miraculously. No. It is about problem solving. Supply and components are pulled, and if they don't arrive, then there's a problem. Since only what is required arrived, there are no inventories or waste. Two key components here: waste reduction and reduction of variability. It focuses itself on adding value and passing it to the customer. It is very, very customer-centric oriented. Now, how do we define the manufacturing or production cycle? That is the time elapsed between the arrival of the raw materials and the departure of the finished product. Now, suppliers. In JIT, we cannot have lousy suppliers. We need to have suppliers that work with the same philosophy throughout. Few suppliers are usually used in long-term relationships, otherwise the required investment of management time, our people's time, is not justified. We work always with partners rather than suppliers. You don't want to integrate them vertically, although in practice you work as if you had been integrated. Quantities? Well, we tend to use uniform production rate. That's why they tend to like it a little bit more, the suppliers. Small lots, they don't like that too much. Little or no tolerance for variations. They don't like it at all. But this is the definition of what? This is the exact definition of quality, complying with the specifications. That is to say, quality are clear and binding specifications. We collaborate with suppliers to meet quality. Planning is very detailed and very strict. It is the basis for working in this system. So in the JIT, we concentrate on suppressing unnecessary activities. We eliminate almost all inventory that we reasonably can. We remove in-transit inventory and we eliminate inefficient suppliers. We work only with suppliers that are efficient. So by working with this philosophy, we tend to increase the efficiency of the complete supply chain. And everybody gains from that. Some of the concerns of the supplier, well, they tend to want more diversification so as to reduce their risk. Sometimes the client has programmed very lousily. Engineering changes. Quality, they don't believe that it's feasible to produce with zero defects. Small batch sizes and proximity to the consumer. So, all these concerns have been addressed, and the resulting efficiencies have reduced costs throughout the complete supply chain, allowing for a greater access for more clients to these markets. So it is something that has worked. That is a fact. Now, it also has been affected tremendously. It has shown itself to be very brittle in the face of a disrupting factor like the pandemic. Now, plant distribution, also known as layout, it's strongly oriented to motion reduction. All space is used, and by reducing movements, both effort and the time required to process an order are reduced. Remember the 3 dimensions of ergonomics? Senses, location and environment. Flexibility. The modern cells are designed to be easily adapted to changes in production volume, product improvements or new designs. It is impossible to implement JIT without employees who don't have the power to influence what they are doing. For the same reason, the richness of work is increased. I have seen factories, large producing cars. In this factory that I saw, they were producing over 10,000 cars a day. And each and every worker in the line had 2 lines hanging over him. One was red and the other one was yellow. If he pulled the yellow line, alarms started blaring throughout the facility, and all the engineers were running to see what the problem was and to solve it immediately. And if he pulled the red string, the complete production line came to a halt. Just one worker could stop a 10,000 a day factory just by pulling one string. When I asked why is this, they said it's simple. It's more cost effective. Wait a second. Stop the production of 10,000 cars? Yes, because if the problem goes on, do you know how much it costs to rework all the cars that have the problem? I stand it corrected. Okay, so key points. JIT, a philosophy of continuously resolving problems and reducing waste. Thank you for your attention, and this would be the final video of this series. I thank you for all your effort seeing me throughout this complete series. Goodbye.